and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR HaLacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Tuesday, the 19th day of April, the 18th day of Nisan. Today, a quick rundown of some pertinent laws of Chol Ha'Moed for us all. Shaving and haircuts are definitely not to be done during Chol Ha'Moed. If you feel you have a need for an exception, you should talk to a rabbi. Generally, we say no to all haircuts and shaves throughout Chol Ha'Moed. We have the same answer generally to nail cutting. You should not cut your nails on Chol Ha'Moed. It's going to sound weird, but if you need to bite one off, you are allowed. If you need to just peel one back, you are allowed. But generally, nail cutting, that's basically where you get take out a clipper and do all your nails. That's what we don't do. We don't fix them beautifully. If you just need to get something off, we're not condoning nail biting seriously, because it leads to a problem of being used to doing that on Shabbos and Yom Tov, which is a major problem. So you shouldn't be in the habit of nail biting. But if you needed to just peel something back, bite a little piece off. So halacha does actually say that you're allowed to do that. If a nail is causing you discomfort and you need to just cut off a piece to put your finger back at ease, then you're allowed to do that on Chol Ha'Moed also. Laundry is generally prohibited, and there are some exceptions. Basically, the exceptions are kind of things that you run out of and you need. Like you ran out of tablecloths, you messed them all up during some big spills during the Sidarim. Your little children messed up all their clothing and they have nothing left to wear, towels or whatever, same type of situation. When you get into a jam, then yes, you are allowed to launder on Chol Ha'Moed, but generally the answer is no. Same thing with ironing. You're not supposed to do full out ironing of your clothing, but if you have a little spot that just needs to be, I think what you would call spot ironing, that's allowed on Chol Ha'Moed. Gardening. Generally, the answer to gardening is no. You're not allowed to do that during Chol Ha'Moed, but if you have a few beautiful somethings that you're going to pick out of the garden for a lunch on Chol Ha'Moed, and you just have to do a little something to them a day or two before to make them beautiful for the Moed, because you're going to pluck them out and put them right in your salad on, Erev of the last days. So you need to just fix up those few little cute cherry tomatoes. It's way early for cherry tomatoes, but you know what I mean. If that's your situation, then yeah, only if it's a little something that's sprucing up some foods that you need for the Moed. This surprised me when I read it. This all came off of an OU website. Fishing for sport, just for the sport of it, is allowed on Chol Ha'Moed. That surprised me. You're not supposed to write generally, but if you really, really have to write something, you should write with a shinui, with a change, like writing sideways on the paper or something like that. If you're writing down divrei Torah that you don't want to forget, like, for example, my little teleprompter that I'm reading off of here, of little written notes, those are pieces of Torah that I didn't want to forget, so you are allowed to write those down on Chol Ha'Moed. You're allowed to take pictures. You're allowed to print your pictures on Chol Ha'Moed. Rabbi Belsky said, I hope some of you remember what this is, when they used to develop film, remember those days? So he said you shouldn't develop film into pictures on Chol Ha'Moed, but taking pictures with digital cameras, using your printer to print them, stuff like that is allowed on Chol Ha'Moed. Generally, we say no to tailoring of clothing on Chol Ha'Moed, but if there's a button that fell off, you could sew it back on. If there's a hem that came down, you could, in an unprofessional way, just kind of, just put the hem back up in a not so professional way. And generally, we say no to car work by a mechanic on your car during Chol Ha'Moed. Of course, if you have a safety issue, you have to take care of yourself and ask your shayla, like, I need to drive this car to Lakewood, and the brakes are dangerous, then yeah, that would be a situation where you're going to have to drive a car with shaky brakes, and you want to get that done for safety. I'm going out on a limb and saying that that's okay. Generally, what didn't have to be done during Chol Ha'Moed, you shouldn't do during Chol Ha'Moed. what didn't have to be scheduled and say, oh, I'll just take care of that during Chol Ha'Moed, that's not so kosher either. But where safety is concerned, ask your rabbi just to be certain if you're allowed to just take care of that safety issue for your car because you're driving to a simcha or something, and it's probably going to be permitted. Thanks for logging on. Have a very good Moed, and log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.